Hey guys, it is Miyako and I am back with another video. It has been about 2 weeks since I came back to America, and so far the only differences in myself that I have noticed is I've broken out in acne and I've gotten tanner. So that's an update with that. I needed to film a video today because tomorrow 2 of my friends from Japan are coming over, and if you guys wanted to see updates on that, I'm gonna have a link to my other channel right here. And if you guys haven't seen that channel already, it's mostly based on makeup and vlogs and like other random stuff. So if you want to see more of me, if you're not sick of me yet, did not do my hair today because I'm lazy, and that's what happens when I come back home. Today's video is going to be some misconceptions that people tend to have about people in Japan, and these are mostly based on things that I noticed, misconceptions that I had when I went to Japan, and they were totally proven incorrect while I was there, or proven somewhat incorrect. There are different times that I felt they were either true or false, so these are the ones that I'm going to share with you guys. The first misconception that I want to address is that everybody dresses in either Harajuku or Lolita fashion. And for those of you guys who don't know what Harajuku fashion is, Harajuku fashion tends to vary, but the reason that we call it Harajuku fashion is because in Harajuku there is a place called Takashita Dori, which is the street right outside of the station, and there they have a ton of fashion shops, and the clothing that you can buy at these fashion shops tend to cater more to the people who are into Harajuku fashion and that kind of thing. So usually the clothes that you buy at those shops are Harajuku fashion. And for those of you who don't know what Lolita fashion is, a lot of people translate Lolita in different ways, but in Japan it translates to a young girl. So Lolita fashion is fashion that tends to look really cute in the young girl kind of sense. There are different kinds of Lolita, like there is cake Lolita, dark Lolita, various other Lolita fashions, and I will leave pictures right around here of the different Lolita fashions, but there are a ton of different kinds, and that is another style that a lot of people think of when they think of girls in Japan. And just want to put that out there, that is not how all girls in Japan look. If you do come to Japan, you will see a couple of those girls. If you go to Harajuku or Akihabara or any of the major cities, you're bound to run into 1 or 2 of them there. But again, people tend to dress in a more conservative fashion in Japan. If anything, as I said in a couple of my videos, people tend to dress in a more 60s, 70s style fashion. So if you guys do come to Japan, you will notice that compared to everybody dressing in the Harajuku Lolita fashion. Another misconception that people tend to have about Japan is that everybody talks like in anime. So in anime, a lot of people say like, notice B senpai in the translations at least. I don't know how to say that in Japanese, guys. I've never had the need to say that in Japanese. People in anime tend to say like, ah, baka yaro, if it's like an old man, or if it's a girl like, ah, kawaii, or like, or in anime, a lot of times, often you'll see actions being played out in the form of words. Like if somebody is staring at something, they'll be like, ji, or if a girl sees somebody really cute or her crush just walks by, she'll be like, kya, or stuff like that. People don't actually say these things out loud most of the time, guys. They don't really scream and say, kya! That's like strange. Do you scream like that when you're scared? Because they don't. They really don't in real life. I've heard a lot of Japanese people actually making fun of animes that are like that. I remember when I was in my dance club, a girl walked in when everybody was changing in the girls' lit room, and all the other girls were like, kya! Like jokingly, or they would be like, kya ha, kind of thing. So yeah, girls don't actually act that way in real life. Of course, if you're an anime lover and you come to Japan, just hearing Japanese might make you guys think that they're talking like they're in anime, but really they're not. They're just speaking Japanese. Number 3 is a little bit PG-13 rated or R-rated. That's a little bit more than PG-13, I guess. If you guys are college age or whatever, there's a lot of misconception that Japanese people don't have sex or they don't know about sex. And then there's also the misconception that Japanese people are freaking crazy when they have sex, because supposedly there's a ton of Japanese porn with like tentacles and stuff like that. Yeah, no. The thing that I noticed about Japanese people is that throughout high school, there's really no time at all for them to have relationships or any of those intimate kinds of things. So once they do get to college, they're a little bit more forward and outgoing with those kinds of things. It's definitely still not a prevalent thing in Japanese society. It is definitely still more swept under the rug, but people in Japan do know about sex. They're not all super innocent little angels. And on the opposite spectrum of that, they're not overtly crazy with their sexual desires. If anything, I would definitely say they are more conservative still on that side, but they do know about it, they do it, and it is definitely there in Japanese society. I wouldn't rule it out, and I wouldn't say it's completely over the edge. But yeah, they're definitely a normal species of human, despite the fact that they have a declining birth rate. Number 4 is something that I more found out after living here for a long time, and I've definitely mentioned this in a ton of my videos, but one of the biggest misconceptions of Japan that I get is actually from people who have come here before and who have stayed here for only a short amount of time, and this is actually that all Japanese people are nice. And it is definitely true that Japanese people are a very considerate country. They definitely look out more for the other person on the receiving end than they do for themselves. However, I would not necessarily say that all Japanese people are per se nice. I have definitely learned the hard way that even though people may be nice to your face, they don't necessarily like you. And due to the overall consideration of the entire country, because they are expected to do that, they are even more so compelled to hide what they are truly thinking behind like a mask of consideration. So I would definitely say fully get to know a person first before being like, oh my god, that person is so nice, I can tell them everything and I can just trust them with everything because they're so nice. And number 5, which I actually thought was the most interesting out of all these misconceptions, is I used to get so much on my sister for her really bad Japanese accent, because for you guys who don't know, I am half Japanese, but my entire family does not speak Japanese, and I really got on my sister and my mom for their terrible, terrible Japanese accents. And I was like, no, you don't say it like that, you say it like this, and it's not udon, it's udon, or like stuff like that. And I realized after going to Japan that people really don't realize if you have a bad accent. So for those of you who are just learning Japanese, or for those of you who really want to go to Japan, if you don't have a perfect Japanese accent, Japanese people really cannot tell. Other people who are bilingual or those who have lived in other countries and who speak English might point out to you, yeah, oh yeah, now that I think of it, your accent is kind of off. But for Japanese people who don't speak another language and you come to them and speak Japanese, they'll just be happy that you speak Japanese and they'll definitely compliment you on your Japanese accent. So if you guys have no confidence in your Japanese pronunciation skills, I would say definitely do not worry. Japanese people usually cannot tell the difference if you have a good accent or a bad accent. So yeah, that was one of the misconceptions that I had about Japan. I thought they could definitely tell, but they really cannot, and it is only the people who are learning Japanese or who teach Japanese that can really tell. And yeah, that was just a few of the misconceptions that I had about Japan when I came here. And I definitely have a lot more, so I'll probably be making another one of these videos in the future. These are just the few ones that I could think of before my friends came over. Thanks you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you next week. Bye!